You're not necessarily going to want to put your slickest tire on your gravel bike just so you can prioritize riding on the pavement. I realized that I was going to be riding about at least 70% pavement, so I chose this spec accordingly. With this setup, this is really what you want for road speed. This is my gravel bike, and it can hang with the road bikes. It's no secret. It's just something I found out after a decent amount of research. If you've never swapped out the tires that came with your gravel bike, you could be losing a lot of efficiency. And if you've bought tires for the riding that you've wanted to do, you could be losing out on efficiency big time. Today, I want to let you in on the tire setup that has allowed me to efficiently ride on the road, but also open up doors to riding more gnarly terrain. And though it is very efficient, it may not necessarily even be the right one for you. Let's talk about why. If you ride a gravel bike, you know the struggle. You search the best gravel tire for road, you get a million wrong answers. And that's because the best tire is different for everybody. I know from experience that riding something like this on the pavement is not very fun. And it's not very efficient. So to avoid that, I went with the Continental setup that I currently have on this gravel bike. One of the main considerations that we have in picking a gravel tire that is fastest for us is realistically, what percentage of our ride is going to be pavement and what percentage of our ride is going to be gravel. When you take both of those into consideration, you can start to look at options for what is going to be the most efficient for you. With the way a lot of gravel bikes are spec'd from the store, the tires are usually set up for the riding that we wish we were doing. When the cold hard reality is that possibly upwards of 50% of the time, we're going to be riding on pavement. When I chose this setup, being honest with myself, I realized that I was going to be riding about at least 70% pavement. So I chose this spec accordingly. I am running Continental Terra Speed TR tires in size 45. With this setup, this is really what you want for road speed. The tread is very mild in the center, and you can see with the wear that I've spent a lot of time riding these on the road. But if you look closely, you can also see that there are knobs on the side of the tire. And these are still good enough for when you decide you're going to lean the bike over on the dirt. You get a lot of speed and cornering confidence. And that's the right recipe for me on road heavy rides. And now I want to talk about width. I run a 700 by 45 mil tire. A lot of folks might consider that overkill. But honestly, through a lot of testing that I've done, I've found that wider is actually a lot faster and much more comfortable than its thinner counterparts. When you run a wide tire, you can drop your PSI a little bit more. Couple this with a wide rim, and you've got a really comfortable setup. It really helps when you're going over road chatter and small rocks. The tire will actually deform and it'll really give you that comfortable, smooth ride that you're looking for. On a lot of your light, more champagne gravel, this setup almost feels like you're riding on pavement. The extra width means more comfort, more grip, and it can even reduce rolling resistance on imperfect surfaces. One thing, you just want to check your frame clearance. So I want to introduce you to this site, bicyclerollingresistance.com. It really came in handy when I was doing the research for what gravel bike tire would be best for my situation. Given that 70 to 30% split between pavement and gravel that I actually will be riding, it can really help you ditch the opinions and get right down to the numbers. They use watts to measure how much energy it actually takes to roll the tire, and you'll find that the difference between cheaper knobby tires and higher end, lower rolling resistance tires can be as much as 20 watts per tire. 40 watts of rolling resistance on pavement can make a huge difference. And this is where I confirmed my decision to go with the Terra Speed TR in a 45. It was one of the fastest, widest tires that there were, with a very low rolling resistance for most of the pavement riding that I'd be doing. If we're looking to optimize for speed on pavement, the slicker tire is always going to be the right option because it's going to have a much lower rolling resistance. But at that point, why aren't we just riding a road bike? The point is, you want to find that happy medium and find a tire that you'll be happy with riding a majority of the time, but can also take you to the limit of what you're planning to ride when we're taking into account chunkiness, mud, and other factors that are most important for us with gravel. Every tire choice is going to be a compromise. Go with the slick tire, you're not going to be going super fast on the gravel. Go super knobby for the gravel, you're not going to be going very fast on the pavement. You're probably going to want to pick a tire that's going to be the best for a majority of your rides and not the epic backwoods adventure that you might do every other month. So to sum everything up, it really is subjective. You're not necessarily going to want to put your slickest tire on your gravel bike just so you can prioritize riding on the pavement. You want to consider what type of riding you're doing, and then you can optimize it for riding on the pavement. If you choose something that has low rolling resistance, my personal winner for the type of riding that I do, which again is 70% pavement and 30% gravel and trails, is the Continental Terra Speed tire in size 45. It has low rolling resistance, it's fast, and the size makes it feel plush and comfortable. There are other tires like the Schwalbe G1 RS that is very similar. It features a smooth channel in the middle with knobs on the side. I went with the Conti just because it showed it had slightly better puncture resistance, and knock on wood, I have not gotten a flat to this date with those tires, which is remarkable considering I've ridden them about 3,500 kilometers at this point, but all in all, I'm very happy with that decision. If the riding that I was doing was more gravel heavy, I would probably choose a knobbier option, which would mean higher rolling resistance, but that's a compromise that I would have to make if I don't want to be changing my tires all the time. All that tubeless fluid can add up. So I'm curious, what's your split? Where do you ride? And what tires do you run? If this video helped you or got you thinking, I'd appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button if you like the video, because that really helps me out. It'll really be a struggle to get the algorithm to help you find your audience these days. So I appreciate you watching and stopping by. Until the next time.